Hey guys, okay, here's part 2 of our tutorial about finding sources. And in this video we're going to transition from using Google to find sources to trying out the GALILEO database that is built into our course so that you can find full text articles directly from a library. But before we move to our library search page in eCore, I'm still on the Google search page that I was on in the preceding video where I had searched Katherine Mansfield, The Fly. And I just wanted to show you, I was scrolling down, and I just wanted to show you a couple of things. First of all, this source here that says ProQuest, this is an alert whenever, if you see something called ProQuest when you're doing an academic search on Google, that is an academic database. So this would be a good source because I just happen to recognize that ProQuest is the name of a research database that you would find in a library. Now if you click on this, another clue that this is a good source, as you can see here in the description, it says cited by 5, so that means 5 other people have used this in their scholarly essays. So it's a source that has been used before. Now the date you can see is from 1974, so it is kind of old, and a lot of professors will encourage you to use more recent scholarship. But I don't have any problem if you want to use some classic scholarship and essays, for these texts that we've read this semester. But if we click on this source, now that we know it's a scholarly source from a database, what you see is that you get a preview of it. You only get the first page, and then you can't access the complete text. Well, this is where the library is really helpful. And if we go back to that search again, you can see there's a few like that. There's ProQuest. JSTOR is another library database, and if you click on this, you would only get the preview. You have to be inside a library, logged in, inside your university library in order to look at this. So that's where, this is another one, the open edition journals. This is another academic source. And let's see, some of them will actually let you have access. This one says it's open edition, so I guess that means that you don't have to have a subscription to a library database for this one. But this one would be considered an academic journal, and if you scroll down, you see that it does offer you the full text for this, so you can use it. But if you run into a scholarly article that you can't open in Google, all you need to do, I'm going to go back into our course now. At the top of our course page, click on Library. Now, eCampus Library, you can click on that if you would like to chat with the embedded eCore librarians. They can give you tips on how to cite things. They can help you find sources, full text sources if you need extra help. This one on the bottom, Guild Express, I think that's a mail service where people can have articles and chapters mailed to them through interlibrary loan. So we're going to look at GALILEO. That's the search database for the University System of Georgia's libraries. So if we click on GALILEO, it's going to take us to the search page. This simple search bar is probably good enough, right now for our purposes. So I'm going to just type in the way I did before, Katherine Mansfield, The Fly, and we're going to click search and see what comes up. And it looks like the way our library search page organizes results is pretty helpful. You can see over here on the left, these are all ebooks. So these, if you wanted to use one of these, that would be perfectly fine. Let's scroll down a little bit. This one, Katherine, and this is just a matter of clicking and seeing if the source is going to meet your needs. Not all of them will. But this one, Katherine Mansfield in Psychology, looks promising. So we're going to click on the source. You can see there's a little bit of a description That doesn't really help us too much because we can't see where the description of the fly is. If you scroll down, you can see the table of contents, and it's still, not exactly clear which one of these chapters addresses the fly. So what you can do is scroll back up to the top, and we're going to click on PDF full text. I just find that easier to work with. And you can see it uploads the book, but it's still going to be, you don't want to have to scroll through this entire book. So if we go up here and click on search within, I've already typed it in, you can see I was practicing. So we're just going to type in the fly and see if this book addresses this story. And yes, see, we get a lot of references to it. So what I would do is just kind of scroll down to see if I can find where the analysis of it begins. It looks like page 6. It mentions the boss and his inability to weep. So that seems like it would be appropriate to a character study. So I'm going to click on page 6 and just kind of see. It's a little distracting that all of our search terms show up in yellow highlight, but I just ignore that. And let's see if we can find. Okay, so this obviously is page 6. It's an introduction. So the editor is telling us that this scholar, Avishek Parui, is the writer who's going to talk about the fly. So we just need to find where his chapter starts. So let's see. Let's try page 113. Yeah, so here, this is the start of the chapter that discusses the fly. So, all of this, as you're thinking about your character, you would just want to kind of skim through your articles and take notes on anything you see that you feel is important to helping us understand the character of the boss and the fly. And then, take notes as you're going through. And when you're ready, if you don't want to lose the article, I find that it's a good idea to keep a list. So I'm going to open up, for some reason WordPad is the only option that pops up. So I'm just going to open up a WordPad document. Then I'm going to grab the permalink. Excuse me. And where'd my word? I'm going to paste that right there. So that way I can get back in. But I think the permalink will only take you in if you are logged into eCore. So I'm not exactly sure how that's going to work. So I'm going to give myself some more information too. I'm going to see if I can get some. Actually, I'm just going to scratch that. I'm going to do this another way. Okay. When you're ready to cite, I showed you when you do a Google search, you can use citation machine, and then you sort of have to do some detective work to figure out what to plug in to the pieces in citation machine. The good thing about the library database is that you can look for a button or a link that says cite, C-I-T-E. It will usually have a little box with a quotation mark in it. If you click on that, and then find MLA 9th edition right here, click on that. Whoops. Oh, no, that was right. No, that just tells you about MLA style. Oh, duh. It's already right there. Okay, all you have to do, you don't even have to generate it. It's already there. So you can just copy this works cited entry, and then I'm going to put it right here. Whoops. Oh my gosh, I can't control the mouse. There we go. And then I'm going to go ahead and highlight these last 2 lines and use my margin bar at the bottom to move it over. Because you're going to want your works cited entry to have a hanging indent, which is what this is. Okay, so now I think I will grab, excuse me, I will grab that link to see if I can get directly back to the article, and I'm going to put that down here. So this won't go on your works cited page. This is just for your convenience so that you can click back to it and hopefully get back into the article. If you can't, you can always just grab the title and search for it in Galileo for the book to pop back up again. But I think you do need to keep a running list of your source citations so you don't lose any of your sources, because it is easy to do. Okay, so that's Katherine Mansfield. That's a book. You'll also notice you probably aren't going to want to use news too much. That's usually like reviews of people who've written books about Katherine Mansfield. Scholarly articles should be helpful. Spectrality in the short story The Fly. Well, this is one of the ones that was on the Google page, the Google search. And because it's an open source, it let us get in there, but you can also access it from our library. So to access it, well, actually, it's at the University of Michigan, so if we click on that, yeah, it gives us the same thing that we got from the Google search. So you can find good things on Google. It's just you have to play around and be kind of picky with it. Okay, so this is the second video. It was a little bit shorter than the first one. I do want to do one or two more short videos just to give you more ideas about how to do search terms to make sure that you're finding things you can use in your papers. Okay, we'll be back in a little bit. Thank you guys.